Hi, I'm Teelish, and you're watching Coffee and Clix. Today we're going to be talking with Clay Wood, the creator of HCUnits. HCUnits is a popular online tool for all things HeroClix. If you want to learn more about HCUnits, stay tuned. Hi, I'm Teelish, and you're watching Coffee and Clix. Today we're joined by Clay Wood. He is the hi Clay. How's everything going? Good.
Great.
So Clay Wood is the creator of HCUnits. HCUnits is a very popular online tool for all things HeroClix, and he's going to share with us, tell us all about it. For anybody watching at home or listening that has never used HCUnits, this is going to be a great video for you to watch or listen to because he's going to talk about all the features and everything that you can do to build your HeroClix teams and whatever you need to do for playing HeroClix. So thanks Clay for coming on the show.
Thanks for having me, Anthony. This is super exciting. I've been so amazed at how much the community has embraced this website. We launched a little more than a year ago, and I'm just always blown away with how many people are using it, how thankful everybody is, and what amazing feedback I've gotten. Because for those who've been using the unit site since the beginning, it's been an amazing amount of change over the last year, and so much of that has been based off of the feedback that we've been getting and the ideas that everybody's had to continue to make it better and better. And so now, if you're just starting at the beginning, this video is totally for you because we're going to walk through some of the most basic stuff, and then maybe in a later episode we can get into super advanced features. But
yeah, absolutely. I mean, also. Clay is also a competitive player. Where are you based out of? Where's your HeroClix venues and stuff like that?
Yeah, I live in Los Angeles, the Los Angeles area, so kind of far away from the center of the Midwestern, HeroClix nexus that seems to exist. I play at a store called Atomic Comics. It's also in Los Angeles. There are a number of good venues. I'll go to a couple here and there, but that Atomic is probably the closest one to me. So.
Okay, yeah. So today, actually, what's a funny thing is because Clay, before we started recording this episode, Clay and I were talking, and we were you had mentioned the idea of building a team. Using HCUnits and showing everybody how to do that. So that's one thing we're going to do right now is after we go through all the features and stuff like that, we're going to also build a team. So Clay, I don't know, do you want to share your screen and we could jump right into it and take a look at HCUnits and what it looks like?
All right. How's that look?
That looks good. So right away, it looks like what we have here is, let's see if I can maybe make this bigger. Yeah, I can make it bigger on my screen. All right, so there is HCUnits. And this is when you first type in HCUnits, www.hcunits.net. That's the website. You get to this home screen, and you can see on the top left there are 3 drop-down menus: Build, Explore, and Info. Right. So
yeah.
Right now we're in Build, correct?
This is just the home page. This is kind of the very first view that you'll get as soon as you navigate. And it looks pretty basic compared to a lot of, other splashy websites, to be quite honest. But I think you'll find that as you dig deeper, the interesting stuff is less in the splashy graphics and more in the deep team building stuff that you can do.
Yeah, I mean, and basically the purpose of HCUnits, one of the main things that the capabilities of HCUnits that I find is, I've always wanted to find something where, I have an idea for a team and I want to put a team together, and I build it. I build the team digitally. It adds up all the points for me, and then I can save it. I can save it as in a journal where I have all my teams saved, and I can go back to it, and I have that team saved. And another really cool thing with HCUnits is that you can print out the build sheet as well. So there's a lot of really cool stuff you could do with it.
Yeah, I mean, in fact, the reason why I started building this in the first place is because I was using HC Realms like probably a lot of other players were, and it's been a great site for a really long time. That all of the work that's gone into that has been fantastic. It just drove me nuts that I couldn't save my teams. I probably lost more great HeroClix teams that I built than I still have. I used to collect teams in spreadsheets, and I realized this is such a clunky system that I have. I really need to streamline this, and that was kind of the beginning of what I wanted to do with HCUnits. Of course, the very first problem is you need a database of units, and so maybe that's where we should actually start off. So I will say, you gain a lot of functionality if you create an account. But if you don't want to create an HCUnits account because you just want to try it out or whatever, the Explore units will absolutely work. You can totally go and see all of the units in the database, and it's kind of organized by set lists, notably in descending order from what's most recent. So, Anthony, I don't know about you, but I was glued to my computer this past week as they were revealing all the new units for Masters of Time. So I figured we should start there because Masters of Time,
yeah, definitely,
is the new hotness. And so if you navigate to the set, you'll see all of the units here. It's the sort order by default is set, and then I think it's actually rarity. So this, but you'll see you see all the rares, the super rares, etc. We have most of the images for this set. There's a few that are still trickling in, and I want to give a huge shout out to Corey Franklin, who actually gives us the artwork for the units, and he has been so on top of that. He does a really great job. So if you see Corey, thank him for that.
Yeah, I also want to mention the other great sites. So HCUnits, this is a really, really popular tool. It's a great tool. Clay, you did a great job creating HCUnits, but there's also other websites out there. We mentioned HC Realms. HC Realms was like the original one. And then there's also Clix Nexus. So these are also great sites to use. Today we're just going to be talking with Clay about HCUnits.
Yeah, Clix Nexus is fantastic. They are they may be even more up to date, more timely than even I am. Joe Pangraggio is very much on top of things, and he's particularly really good at sharing information around errata and rules changes, and so I count Joe as a friend. I don't think that sites need to be mutually exclusive at all. I use all of the sites, and so
yeah. So when we're looking at this figure here, we're looking at the Rip Hunter super rare. Now I see when you click on it, if you look at on the left hand side, it tells you the point values. It tells you how many clicks are on the figure. It says 7 or 4 clicks. So that's pretty cool feature. And then when you click on it, there are a number of things that pop up. It tells you when it was released. It tells you there's a have and a want. There's a little red circle there with a bar graph. There's another red circle next to the have area. There are some 2 blue circles above where it says Rip Hunter. So there's a bunch of icons. Can you maybe, and also at the bottom here, there's a stat graph where it tells you. I guess it tells you how much this figure's been put in teams, or
That's right.
how much it's been used.
Yeah, that's right. So, when I started building the team, when building the site, one of the first decisions that I had to make was how I want to present the data, and I made the very intentional decision of presenting it in a very similar manner to how the cards look themselves. Um, and the other sites that we've mentioned have a very different layout. I wanted it to feel just like the HeroClix experience in person. Because what I kept finding when I would go to events, I'd be trying to find the data, and I was so used to looking on Realms and Nexus that I didn't know where I couldn't remember where the team abilities were or little minutia things. And so I wanted it to feel just like the cards that you experience. And yes, some of the information is omitted, some things are moved around a little bit, but for the most part, most of the information is right where it is normally on the card. There are some other buttons on the UI, but one thing I do want to I mention before I get into those, Anthony, is there are tooltips. And so if you actually mouse over, say, like the team ability here, I don't know about you, I always forget what hyper time does. It's like a team ability we have not used in ages. And so mousing over it will actually tell you what the rules are. So in this case, hyper time, when an opposing character that can't use his team ability attempts to move into a square from a non-adjacent square into a square that is adjacent to this character, it must stop rolling or must roll a d6, and on a 1-2, it can't enter that square, and it's uncopyable. And it's all of these tooltips exist for the standard powers as well, in case you can't remember exactly how, say, precision strike was worded, or any of the other powers that a unit has. And I think so try to put tooltips in most of the places. So yes, even though there are a lot of icons to save space, if you mouse over it, it'll be a little more obvious what it does. You mentioned the graph button, and I think that's a really interesting next place to go. So what this button does is it shows you all of the stats for the set. In this, and there's a few different screens that you can cycle through. But what this screen tells you is for all of the different powers, standard powers out there, how many units in the set have that particular power. So it's very interesting. So what we see from Masters of Time is that it's a very, very charge-heavy set. 30 figures have charge. On the defensive end, you have 28 figures have super senses, so very heavy super senses. And then on the opposite end of the spectrum, you say, well, what powers are there very few of? And right now, of course, there's very few Earthbound Neutralized. That's not a particularly popular power. But you see, like, say, Regeneration. I guess that's probably not a popular power. Barrier is very infrequent. Only 2 characters have Barrier on their starting click. In some of the past sets, we've seen a dearth of Leadership, but this set actually has quite a bit of it, with 12 figures clocking in, etc. Moving on to the next screen, you can see how many characters have different combat symbols. There are actually a pretty good number of figures that have wing, which is a change from some of the past sets where carriers were hard to find. You see almost everybody is fist these days, but now we actually have a bunch of colossals. We have 10 colossals, we have a giant, or 2 giants, and a couple tiny. And then the next screen takes a second to interpret, but basically the idea is what is the average combat value for different types. So you have your damage, which is the average damage is right at 3 or slightly above 3. You have the average speed value at 8. which I think is a little bit higher than what we've seen in some of the past couple sets. You have your average attack value right at around 11. You have your average defense value right around 18. In fact, exactly 18. But then you can see how it's distributed, how it changes
What about
based on.
that black line at the bottom? What is that? What is that one?
Yeah, that's the number of clicks that a character has. So you
Oh,
see there's kind of like there's one kind of local maxima at 4, and then another that's right around 7. And I think that's because you see a lot of characters with multiple starting lines. The normal line might be at 7, and then the shorter dial would have four clicks. And then because of the colossals in the set, you have a really long tail of super long dials.
oh, okay. And then the purple is range, correct?
And purple's range. Yep, there you go.
Okay.
Yep. And then the last one is the distribution of keywords. So what are the most popular keywords in the set? This is super useful for like sealed, because you go and you're like, oh, what I really want a theme team. What should I be looking for building a theme team in this set? Well, clearly, past stands out. 54 units have the past keyword in this set, and it dominates all the others. We see a bunch of animals, future, Justice League 22, mystical 19, warrior 14. That's kind of an interesting one to stand out, but past is far and away the most frequent keyword.
Wow. Okay. Yeah, it's very cool. I've never seen this feature before. This is like new for me. Like this is it's something that I've missed every single time I come in. Like go to use HCUnits. I just never knew this existed.
That's great. I'm glad we taught you something, Anthony. Yeah, it's very well hidden, unfortunately. The other thing you mentioned is suggest teammates. But let's actually get back to that, because I think that's a really powerful feature, particularly when it comes to team building.
Okay.
Should we jump into that?
Yeah. Okay. So a couple of questions. So
Go ahead.
So
Yeah.
this is there anything else under if I was to hit the explore drop down menu? Oh, those top left icons there. There's 6 top left icons. Like how do we use that if you're like searching for units and you want to narrow down your search or something like that?
Yeah. So the second one is the first tab is just browsing by set, kind of what we've been doing. The second is advanced search. Now, so the other sites have very good search, so I kind of took mine in a different direction, and it's kind of like a build your own search query type of tool. And so one of the things that I like the most is the ability to search for multiple powers. So let's see. Let's say that we want a character with charge, and let's say we want sidestep, and we want precision strike, and we'll say combat reflexes, and maybe toughness. Let's see if that. So 5 different things. Which units have all of those? Zatanna is kind of a funny pick because you can actually pick any starting line, or you can pick a standard power. So she kind of has all those. I guess this is a bad query.
Well, when you search that query with all those 5 powers, is it only searching for the starting click, or is it searching for the entire card? And also, is it searching through special powers as well?
Yeah. So there's a checkbox here that tells you whether or not it's just the starting click. And so if you uncheck that, it will look for any single click on the dial. It searches through traits and team abilities and standard powers and the starting click on different starting lines. Where it does get a little hairy is for characters that can pick a power, because it kind of considers them as having having access to all of those powers. So I refined my query just a little bit. So it's charge, sidestep, precision strike, and combat reflexes. And so I think the one that's interesting is this Batman. Um, and so what you see is you have the special power here that gives him charge and sidestep. He has combat reflexes on the dial. He's got precision strike on the dial. If we were to search for stealth, it would actually also bring this figure up. Um, so because he has stealth granted by the Batman team ability.
Great. Yeah.
And so, yeah, the it was. This is one of the things I'm actually the most proud of because it was very tricky to get this working to find powers between all these different sources.
Yeah. And it's very cool that it also counts special powers and team abilities.
Yeah.
It's very cool. And then you have like another icon. You have the star icon, which I'm assuming is favorites, and then the icon after. Oh, you have saved searches. So how does?
That's right. So this is fairly new too. I think I launched this earlier this year. So if you go and you make a like a complicated query like I had just made, you want to save that, you can go ahead. And here are some of the ones that I've saved before. In fact, this is very similar to what I just had. Um,
How do
looking
you
for.
save it? You click on.
Sorry.
Is there
So
like
when you go
there's
and
a
you
save button?
uh, create the query, say flurry and charge, um, and it searches for it. And then there's just a button right here that to save the search,
Oh,
and
save
it just
search.
pops
Okay.
that up. Yep.
And you can name it. Okay.
And you can give it whatever name you want. Yep.
Cool.
Yeah, favorites. So the button here remembers it as a favorite. So you click on that, and now Zatanna becomes your favorite. Shows up in your favorites tab. You can get rid of her just by unclicking that. Clearly, I don't use favorites that much because I don't have any. I think I found other ways to keep track of units that I was interested in. Um, there is a collection aspect to the site as well, so you can keep track of what you have, what you want to trade, we have for trade, and so being the last two tabs here just help you keep track of your wants and your trades.
Okay. And then there are a couple of other things in the Explore menu. Well, is there anything else to talk about with those 6 icons, or I don't think so, right?
I think
Huh.
that's it for now. We'll probably come back to advanced search. I
Yeah.
think there's more there.
But then also in this drop-down menu, you have some particular things that are of interest would be the tournaments and meta tabs.
Mm-hmm.
So, like if you're like, let's say you want to look at like some top competitive teams and the how people did in different tournaments and stuff like that, you can hit explore tournaments, and I could see on the screen there's all these actual records of tournament standings. Correct?
Yeah, that's right. Here, let me actually log out because I forgot my account gives me the access to the tournament page builder.
Oh,
So it'll look a little bit different. Whoops. Um, so what are we going to do? Let's look at, of course, the U.S. Nationals just occurred this past weekend. So that's the big news. So this is kind of what a tournament page looks like. And the idea is you can see what are the results of the tournament, who played in it, how do they rank, and then most notably, you can see what teams they played. And so you can see that Isaac is our new national champion for 2024.
yes! Woohoo! Congratulations, Isaac.
Congrats. Coming in with the notorious double Kong Blackheart team. And so so the idea is that, if you want to see what people played, you can, and then try to figure out like, what is the trick they're coming up with? You can look at their team, but then also click on the units and it'll show you the card. And so you can see, Blackheart gives you the ability to drop a fire smoke train marker, and then place 2 of his monster or mystical allies alongside him when he moves. And so that goes really well with the 2 Kongs that all share a keyword. as an example.
Mhm.
So a team also, consists of your sideline, the maps, the objects, the tarot deck, uh, etc. Perhaps one interesting thing to note is that he did not play a prime figure at all, and that he was a monster theme team. And then you can see all of the results from all the other players as well if you scroll down the list.
Yeah. Okay. Good.
You want to look at the meta?
Yeah. So the tournaments tab, the tournaments drop down for the tournaments page is very useful. The meta page is also very useful. If we look at that, so I've used this a couple times. You look on the left side and it tells you what's trending, right?
Mm-hmm.
And this is the ranking here is based on how many times the figure is used in that format on your site, right?
Yeah, the idea is all it's doing is it's counting the number of different teams that people have built that contain that unit within the month that's highlighted here, and and then it orders them. So it's kind of like what is it? A Billboard top 100 list of like what's hot in HeroClix right now. The
Mm-hmm.
same way that Billboard does it for the music. And the idea is you can see not just what is hot, but also how has it changed from month to month. You can see that, say, Scott Porter continues to be number one, but Mern became much more popular, moving from up 9 spots into 5th place, while you say like Colossus dropped 3 spots down to number 8.
Yeah. So yeah,
It's also,
and
you can sort by the different formats, and then also the positions within the team. So if you're interested, hey, what is the most popular map that people are building with?
oh
So you can see, Daily Bugle Press Room. And the other one that I know that is getting a lot of buzz within the competitive community right now is Major Brock's Bunker, because people are, there was a recent announcement that both Nationals and Worlds will exclusively use the small maps. And so people are trying to figure out, hey, if I go second, what map can I use to prevent me from getting completely wiped out on at the start of turn 2? And Major Brock's Bunker, I think, is a pretty key map. But that's also, I think, while if you look at Daily Bugle Press Room, tons of blocking, very difficult to navigate. And then number 2, which I skipped over, Bloodstone Maze, also has a lot of blocking in it as well.
question. So where it says modern age, and you can toggle between the different formats.
Yep.
Let's say I have it on modern age. Does that mean that the only figures listed will be modern age, or does that mean those figures were used in modern age teams, and you count the number of modern age teams that were used in?
It's both, but really it's the second. Yeah. So it's only modern age teams, but because of that, it will only be the modern age units as well.
Okay, so if it's Silver Age, it'll only count those figures being used in Silver Age teams only.
That's right.
Okay. Cool. Yeah, that makes sense. All right. So that's a very cool feature. And yeah, maybe we should start building a team now. Or let's look into the build function, right? So if you leave Explore and you go over to Build, you can actually view what teams you have, right? By clicking on Existing, right?
Yep. So now I have to sign back in. So now we're getting to the point where you actually have to log in order to create.
And by the way, it's a free account, correct? Like for anybody,
Totally.
For anybody that's wondering, should I make an account and is it safe? And it's completely safe and it's free.
Yes. I have had an explicit non-goal of making money with the whole site. There's nothing in the site at all that costs money. The personal information that I collect, I try to share with everybody. I'm not using it to. I think I had somebody ask, "Hey, are you looking at my team and trying to use that to beat me, in HeroClix, my advice to them is always just go and build a lot of teams. I don't have any idea what you're going to build, or
Well,
what you're going to play, you
yeah,
know.
yeah.
So
All right, so yeah, so if you click on build, it'll see if you hit existing, that'll be the teams that you already have. So if you
that's
ever
right.
want to go into your own saved teams, you click on existing, it'll show you your saved teams, correct?
Yep. And so you can see I have not been building too many teams as of recent,
Right, but
but
there's a capability to save like, I mean, I don't know what the max is on teams,
I
but
don't think there it until the site comes down. So there, I don't have a hard limit in there. Yep. So you can search for teams here as well. So I want all my Kong teams. Um, you know, let's
does
say I
that
want
search for the unit in the team?
it does. It does.
Okay,
Yep. So let's say these are the teams with Agatha in them.
okay.
So, um, yep.
And then you just hit the plus button to create new team, or you could just go to build and um, and hit create team there, right? If you go to
That's right.
build.
So there's a create team button here, or I can just go and create a new team right here.
Okay. So let's try that. Let's make an assassin team because you were talking
All
about
right.
the before we started recording. Clay and I were talking about Green Man, the new chase from Masters of Time. So we're gonna try to build around Green Man. Now,
One thing funny enough, Anthony, that we totally forgot. I forgot to mention the search box. So you can search for any unit right here in the box.
right, you could just type in the unit, right? Okay, so
So
we're
let's
gonna
just do Green
type in
Man.
Green Man. Okay.
So this is one of the figures that was revealed this past weekend at Nationals
Mm-hmm.
that I was really excited about. I know I'm not alone. Um, Green Man is an assassin, but his 30-point line is really cool. You see, particularly because of this damage power, enhancement and outwit. Once per game, when an adjacent friendly character hits, you may choose that hit characters can't use stop this attack. And then additionally, adjacent friendly characters get +1 range and have improved targeting, ignores elevation, which is huge.
Yeah.
So,
So I'm taking it. We're building him using like we're using his 30-point line
yep. So let's start.
with the damage
So we're
power.
going to click on. So in order to add him to the team, you click on the big red button here, and then we'll add him. You can add him at different point lines to sideline or to scratch space. And scratch space is kind of just like a temporary place to hold ideas. So we'll drop him in at 30 points.
And so he is just so for people that don't know, the chase theme in Masters of Time is the Dark Knights of Steel series, DC's Dark Knights of Steel. I don't know if you've ever read that series.
I haven't read it.
So it's basically all the DC characters in medieval form, like back in
Oh,
like the medieval times or whatever. And Green Man is the villain. He's like Green Lantern Joker, basically.
oh, neat.
So, this is
Hence the Green Lantern core keyword. I
yeah.
like it.
So we're gonna have him equipped with the Green Lantern ring, right?
Oh yeah, of course, right? Because it's free. So, uh, Green Lantern ring. Oh, and this actually brings up one thing. We're seeing some Golden Age stuff here because we forgot to set the age. So if you set the age and format fields, it will automatically filter out stuff that doesn't make sense for your team. So let's change it to modern, and then we'll go back to search again, and boom, you see the older Green Lantern rings are gone,
Yeah.
and we only have this one now.
And you can also change and I'll say assign to Green Man at 0 points. It automatically does that for you. That it's
That's
zero
right.
points.
And that's because there's a qualifying keyword of Green Lantern core, and Green Man has that, and so that gives it to him at no cost.
And you can adjust. I mean, we're making a 300-point team here, but you can if you let's say you wanted to make a 400-point team. How do you
Uh-huh.
adjust? How do you adjust that? You just
Yeah, so you can just change the points right here. So if we wanted to go up to 400, we can do that.
all right,
Yeah. Yep.
and you pick the format. So we're doing our format is Okay, so it's between standard.
It really is constructed. I need to update that, but it could be, as opposed to pulp theme or a Highlander format.
Okay, cool.
Let's get back to visibility because I think that's an important setting. But let's finish building the team and then we can kind of talk about that.
Sure.
Anthony, do you have any other favorite assassins? Anything?
Let's get our leadership. Let's do Deadpool and Hitmonkey, the chase from Deadpool Open X.
All right. So you bring up leadership. So we always, when we're building teams, we want leadership. So let's go and actually look. Let's see what pieces have leadership. So we want to build an assassin team like we talked about. So we'll put in the assassin keyword here.
Yeah, we might as well look at our other options to have leadership. Let's see what assassins have leadership.
And then we have a standard power, and that is leadership. So we actually have a few new ones, right? Looks like Domino is an assassin from the recent Deadpool Weapon X set. Of course, Kingpin is a great assassin leader.
I'm almost sure Deadpool and Hitmonkey was one, right? Or was I wrong? Maybe that doesn't have leadership.
Maybe they aren't.
I don't know. I could be wrong. But King Deadpool and Elsa is a good one now.
That's a good one. All right, so let's go ahead and add that. And then meanwhile, we can look for, what was it, Deadpool. And I don't see leadership, but they are a really good piece. So
So that's that has prob. Okay. No, he's got. Yeah, I thought he has leadership for some reason. But okay. So then we have 3 really good pieces. They're all chases. So how many points do we have left over?
So we have 135 total at the moment.
We have an outwit. We have a leadership. So you can. I see here on the top of our screen while we're building the team, it has a check off list of okay, you got leadership on your team, you have outwit on your team, so that counts that towards your team. So now it looks like we need perplex, probability control, and telekinesis.
And I should say, if you have a different set of favorite standard powers, that's adjustable. You can just there's a whole list here on the side. There's a little button with the gear, and you just go and say, hey, I really like having barrier. That's a good one. I want to make sure every team I have has barrier on it, and in fact, boom, we have barrier because Green Man has barrier.
Oh, okay, cool.
So there it is.
Yeah, very cool. All right, that's awesome. I did not know you could do that. So you can change the selected powers that you're looking for in your team.
That's right.
And also, with this team in particular, we don't really have probability control per se. But I think King Deadpool and Elsa Bloodstone gives it to all monsters at the beginning. Gives them a pizza token or something like that. So.
Oh yeah. Good note.
That they can use probability control, but I don't know if we have any other monsters on
friendly characters with monster keyword.
Is Green Man a monster or?
Nope.
No. Okay.
Doesn't look like we have.
All right, so we might need some more prob. We might need prob and perplex. So maybe we should do a query for assassins with prob, perplex, or telekinesis. Can you do or? Can you do powers with or?
I can't do or. You can do or on keywords, but I didn't select that on for powers.
Okay.
But we're looking for prob control.
Let's do prob control first.
So funny enough, Green Man has it, but only at the high point value.
Yeah. So Gambit might be cool.
Gambit's a good one.
Because he also have perplex or no?
What does he does have? Not. Do you want to see if there are any that have both?
Yeah, maybe. So we just get more point efficient.
Kanto. He's one of the. Yeah, in fact, he's another one from the new set that's coming out.
Yeah, we could use him at 35 points.
So proud.
He's not out yet. He's not out yet though. But I don't know if well, neither is Green Man yet, technically.
Yeah, that's right. So neither of them are out. But so he's We got to add him. All right. What do you think? 75 or 35?
So how many points do we have left?
Quite a lot. Are we going to go back to 300 or are we doing a 400
Let's
team?
do 300. Yeah.
Okay. So even with it, we still have over 150 points. So he's pretty good at both clicks.
Yeah.
Plasticity, sidestep, stealth, prob control, perplex.
Um. Yeah. I don't know. Let's use him at 75. Let's try.
All right, let's see. Now,
That gives
at
us
this point,
80
you notice we
points.
don't have a prime. So let's refine our query here, and we can look for um, what is it? Unit property, and we want prime.
No, do we have anybody with flying? Like that can carry do we have any way of like carrying other people other than I guess oh actually Green Man can taxi because he's got the Green Lantern team ability. Wait, no, doesn't
Does
he doesn't
he
he doesn't
doesn't?
have it. Oh, okay. Oh, interesting.
Yeah, so taxi is kind of an issue for us.
Let's look at Domino Prime or maybe Talon. Let's see. Well, let's
Kingpin
look at
Prime is interesting. He moves
oh, he
characters,
moves characters around, right?
but I think our pieces are too expensive. Um, Ras Al Ghul is he's good to go on the sideline. He has this cool sideline active trait, gives all assassins +1 attack.
Okay.
The one that I really like is Talon. Um, when a friendly character with the assassin keyword attacks, opposing characters with the target token can't use defense powers. What do you think, Anthony?
Yeah,
And then, of course,
I think it's pretty
Domino
cool.
Prime is also pretty cool too.
What does Domino Prime do?
She's got the 3 gnarly stop clicks.
Oh, so she's like a attacker, right? Mainly.
Yep, yep.
Does she have any support powers?
Oh, Talon has prop control, so that helps us.
Oh yeah, okay. Wouldn't Domino doesn't have prop? I thought usually Domino has prop, right? Or I mean,
Domino it's not really exactly prob that get to use her crazy domino die.
oh okay. Let's use Talon. I think Talon's kind of cool, and it gives us more points to work with too.
All right.
It gives us 30 points. I don't
Now
know.
you see we are one-on-one of primes, and so if we wanted now, so the team builder will restrict you from breaking the rules. So you'll see, like, if I go to Kingpin now, I can't add him to the team. It's the option isn't there at all. It's because I already have a prime.
Mm-hmm.
And
Yeah.
so and sometimes this is very useful. I don't know if you know about this, but there's this little toggle for enforce rules. So if you're like, I know that this is legal, HCUnits is messed up, I have a bug, I really think I can do this. So you can turn off the rules enforcement by clicking the little toggle. And then I go back and now we're going to add Kingpin Prime to the team. And you'll see, oh, that's the problem. I can't have, it'll tell you specifically what is the error. Now we have too many points, we have too many primes, but it'll tell you exactly what is the issue. So if you believe that there's something wrong, then try that and it will tell you what's going on. So we'll go back to removing Kingpin and we'll enforce the rules again. And now we only have 30 points left, though.
So do we have any 30-point assassins? I'm not even sure.
Let's see. All right. Well, 30 points. We can search for point value.
We're not going porters, right? No porters, or
You can always add a porter.
we
That they
could add a
definitely
porter. That is an
all.
option. That is an option.
Um, the other option we could do is we could add some equipment to the team.
Oh wait, what's Shadow? Shadow. 30 points.
30 points. But very few clicks.
Is Green Man unique?
Green Man is unique. That's
Oh,
what
he's unique.
the
Okay.
silver on
So,
it
okay. So
indicates.
that silver indicates that they're unique. Okay.
That's right. And the green is prime. That's right. One other option we have is we could go back to Kanto and go back to the low points, which would free up 40 points if we need
Yeah,
it.
we could make him low point. Yeah, let's make Kanto low point. Yeah, I think that's a
All
good
right.
idea.
So let's drop him. One other thing I should note is when you're looking, the other thing that's cool about the team card is you can automatically do a quick search by like just clicking on the keyword. So in this will show you all assassins as an example. You don't have to go to advanced search, and you can just do it very
Just
quickly.
click the keyword on the card itself.
That's right. If
Okay.
you want to see all of the so if you want to see all of the other pieces from the set, you can click on the set icon.
Oh,
If you
I
want
didn't
to
know
see
you could
all
do
of
that.
the characters that have cosmic energy team ability, you can click on that as well. So a handful of options to help you quickly navigate. Oh, why don't we do this? So we mentioned this suggest teammates button earlier, and
Mm-hmm.
we were kind of building this team around Green Man. So what suggest teammates does is it says, what are for show me other units that people are use that also appear on teams that other people have built with this particular unit, if that
Mm.
makes any sense.
Okay.
So, so let's say, so what are some other main force units that is popular with Green Man?
It says cosmic energy results. I think I might have combined two things.
Uh-oh, did I mess something up? I wonder if we have a bug. Let's try Talon. Suggest teammates, Talon. Okay. I think it's kind of grinding away. Well, this one seems to be rather slow. Oh, there it goes.
Oh,
Okay.
there we go. Okay.
So you can see the most popularly played piece with Talon is Ras Al Ghul. And I think that's because he allows you to change the target.
Yeah. Okay.
Funny enough, Scott Porter's Deadshot also really good. Another we haven't talked about Deathstroke. So you can see these are the most, and then of course Orb is a really great assassin, Red Widow. But yeah, um, so we have a lot of good options still. What do you think?
Hmm.
Any of these look good?
Well, let's see. We have 70 points to use, right? Maybe we
What-
take Deadpool and Hitmonkey off, right? Or what does Deadpool and Hitmonkey do? Let me see. I forget what he does.
They're really good with the target. So if we're kind of building a team focused around the target, it's you can know shape change if they have a target, and then they can make two attacks on the target.
They can make okay, so they're like an attacker mainly, and that's it. And they have okay, they can make two attacks, and they're only 50 points for a really good attacker. But
Yep. And
like
then so they also have they ignore hindering and characters, and then remember Green Man gives them the ignore elevation.
oh, okay, yeah, so that's good. Actually, maybe we keep them on. I think he's good. Who else do we have? Um,
We're still missing TK. Do we need TK? TK is kind of solved by Scott
what does
Porter.
Azrael do?
Yeah, that's an interesting one. I have not played with him. I wonder why he's so popular. Huh, interesting. Can't draw lines of fire to him.
Um,
Free smoke cloud. Hmm.
and then willpower when he uses and succeeds. Choose one. So he's got the free smoke cloud where he makes two markers at the end of your turn. He deals 1 damage to each. I don't know. I don't know, maybe. Do we have Outwit? We have Outwit already, right? Yeah.
Yeah, we just don't have any TK. Um,
What's Wolverine pool? Oh no, he's 75. Um.
or 50,
Oh,
yeah.
maybe Headless Horseman. So Headless Horseman has prob,
Yep. And leadership.
leadership, and then we can put a pilot on him. We could also
Go
equip.
that
Can
route.
he be equipped? I think he can be equipped too. So
Yeah, so then we could have 10 points of equipment left. Um, so then he needs a pilot with an assassin or soldier keyword.
oh, Verusa. Look at Verusa also. I think she does something cool for.
I think she says they can't use mastermind, shape changer, stealth. But Deadpool and Hitmonkey kind of do that with the target. And then Talon says they can't use defense powers, right? Yep. And then, yeah, I mean, maybe Talon and Green Man are redundant because Green Man says they can't use stop.
Hmm.
He's pretty good on his own, though. Like, um, I don't know. Do we need TK? Let's see. Assassin, standard power.
Oh,
Cable.
Cable. Yeah. Okay. 40 points, and he can be equipped twice.
Headless Horseman will add cable. At least that fills out all of our check boxes, and then we can add some equipment. So there, you notice that in each of the different sections there are these little buttons, and so let's say I want to figure out, hey, what are all of the equipment that I can? You can just click on the button, and it'll show you what can we have for equipment. Of course, trick arrows are very popular these days. What do you think we should put trick arrows on?
Well, we can equip it. We can equip Cable twice. Oh, King Deadpool gets them for 0 points
Oh, we
because
have to do that, don't we?
yeah, yeah. I feel like we do. Yeah. Um,
You're right. And then we can put two things on cable.
I think we should put the motorcycle on Cable to give him charge and super senses.
Okay. Maybe Bucky's arm.
Well, we have room for one more cycle if we equip a cycle to somebody else, or we can equip the Hell Cycle to Cable, and he could be on both the motorcycle and the Hell Cycle. I don't know. If that's I don't know if that's a good use of a cycle. Wait, we could put him on. Where could we put the Hell Cycle on? Somebody.
What does that give us? Sidestep?
It gives
Talent.
hypersonic to if we need it. We do have 15 points, or we could do Bucky's arm um, on someone. But do we have any? Mostly we have range attackers.
It gives him charge and
Could put
super
yeah, we could
senses.
put Cable on. We could put Bucky's arm on Cable.
Super senses is kind of redundant, but let's go ahead. We'll just do it.
Oh, does Cable have super senses or?
If we put the motorcycle, that gives him charge,
Oh, got it. I see.
super senses. Um, this is kind of interesting. So we could put the broadsword on somebody. We could, in fact, put the broadsword on Green Man if we wanted to. And it gives Blades, Claws, Fangs even with range, which seems like a very assassin thing to do. Maybe Deadpool hit monkey.
Oh, wait,
And
wait.
they
Is
have
it? Oh, it's
range
only.
flurry.
It only gives it within range if they have the Green Lantern keyword, right? Or if this character.
Oh, you're right. Sorry.
Yeah.
Yes. Yep. So that would only work with Green Man.
Um.
So that actually, maybe that's good for Cable because he's got kind of a load. He's kind of squishy. This helps get his defense up. That gives him +1.
Yeah.
So you can see that it will allow, it has the special, it it knows that Cable can be equipped twice, as opposed to, now it won't allow, you can't equip him anymore. You can't equip King Deadpool and Elsa because they're already equipped. So it enforces the rules, even though that Cable has this tricky thing that can be assigned twice.
So now Cable's got +1 defense, blades, and charge and super senses.
Now, so Cable's a little more beefy. Yeah.
Okay. And then,
And then,
all
all right.
we have room for the Bucky's arm, or we could
Yeah.
put like the PJ Pog, PJ Scott and and Lucas. That's 5 points.
That gives us some empower, some protection against pulse wave. I like it. All right. How about maps? Any good maps?
So the close attackers are Cable and Talon, right? Does Talon has
Talon's
charge?
running shot, actually.
Oh, Talon's running shot. Oh, so
We got a lot of running shot.
yeah, we got a lot of running shots. So probably want to kind of have an open map, I guess.
Green Man, remember, gives them the ignore elevation. So maybe we pick a map with elevation.
Yeah.
So I don't know about if you knew this, Anthony, but when you're looking at maps, you can click on the map itself and it'll make it full screen.
Okay.
So if you're on a mobile device and you need a little bit of extra, you want to make it a little bit bigger. So the Weapon X lab has some nice elevation in the middle there. One other thing too, if you're using it on a desktop, it supports like the arrow keys. You can navigate very quickly between the different units, which I use all the time. Makes it easier to kind of scroll down quickly through stuff.
So maybe click on Kate's apartment there. So you passed that one, Kate's apartment.
Yep, right there. There we go. Okay, we'll add that one.
That one's pretty open and it has elevated.
Yep. The Avengers Tower is a good one with lots of elevation. And of course, Ultron's lair. We'll go with those three. Now, so if you get 3 objects on the team, you can search for standard objects or regular objects. You can search for terrain markers very quickly. We want more elevation?
Sure, yeah, in case they take us to a different map that we... Or, yeah, like I guess elevated, let's do like one of each. Like, let's do an elevated, a blocking, and a hindering.
Sure. Okay, I'll do that. Got some blocking with a large crate. Oh, how about the one that has one of each? There we go. And then we can do some hindering, so they have a place to hide in. They are assassins, so we need something big.
And when you want to just search for only the terrain objects, there's that button that you can press that brings up all the terrain objects, correct?
Yeah, that's right. So right here.
Search for terrain markers. What's that button next to it?
This is just for objects.
Oh, okay.
So particularly useful if you want just like standard objects, which are still a thing, even though we kind of forget about it these days. All right, let's not do a tarot deck. So a couple things. One of the other nice things about the site is, of course, the ability to share teams with people. And Anthony, of course, we've built this together. I need to be able to share it with you. So there's 3, and this is where we need to talk about the visibility settings. So first of all, private means that only I can see it. So right now, there's no way that you can see this team at all. If I send you the link, you won't be able to access it.
Right.
Unlisted, you can see that this little button just kind of popped up. That allows me to copy the team link, like so. And then I can just send you this link through Facebook or on email or whatever. You'll be able to pop open this team on your screen and view it. Now, if I go to public, then it's going to show up on the home page. It'll show up and allow other people to search for it. So this is like, if you want other people to check out the cool stuff that you've built, set it to public. But if you're a little nervous, you're trying to build your worlds team and you don't want people to look, maybe private makes more sense. But it gives you those different privacy settings, and you can always change them even after you've shared it. So let's say you set it to public, and oh gosh, now people can see my team. You can always set it back to unlisted or private, so that and prevent people from seeing it later on. Okay. And of course, there's one other thing I totally forgot to mention. There's no save button. All of this stuff is automatically saved just when you change the team. When you add or remove units, there's no, even when you're typing, when you're adding a name or changing one of the settings, there's no need to push the save button. It automatically commits that to the server.
Also, when we're building this team, I noticed we were typing in a lot of stuff. So you were using all of those search queries. The search queries work within the team builder also, right?
That's right. Yep.
Yeah.
Yep.
Oh, and how do you change the picture? Like, I see that you have Green Man as the picture there.
Sure.
So, like,
the little icon here, you can change it to any of the other units that you have in your team. So I think you really liked the Elsa Bloodstone and Deadpool.
Yeah, there we go. So, and then, oh yeah, how do you get a build sheet?
Oh yeah.
So let's say I'm bringing this team to a tournament, and I want to print out the build sheet.
So you can just click this Get Build Sheet, and it will download an Excel spreadsheet for you that you just pop open in your favorite, spreadsheet viewer software and print it out, and you're good to go.
And so then when you open up that spreadsheet, you can save it under a new name, and you can actually go in and type in it and change anything after the fact as well, right?
That's right here. Let me open it up right now. Sorry, I'm doing this off screen so as not to overshare too much. But all I'm doing is using Google Docs. Open it up in Google Docs, and you can see it automatically fills in my name because it has that from the account. It has a HCUnits ID in order to be able to add it to the tournament. When we compile the listings later on, it has all the different units that we added. It adds up the total, fills out all the information for you. So all you need to do is just sign it and hand it to a judge, and you should be good to go.
There you go. So, man, I think we looked at pretty much everything. Is there anything else that you think we missed or that we need to talk about?
Let's see.
You can write the team description. Also, underneath your team, you can write notes for your team. Yep. There's like a notepad, I think.
So you can add notes here. Let's say that either you want to remember how you want to position your units at the start of the game, or you just want to tell other people how you plan on using it. One of the cool things about this little notepad as well is that you can include links to videos. So I know that some of the teams that I'll add into the tournament, I'll add the videos that of people playing it in the top matches, so you can get a chance to see the top players playing some of these teams.
Okay, yeah, and that's really cool. And you could also add a team description underneath your team. I think we talked about everything. I'm sure there's a lot of features.
One last thing too. So there is one last thing.
Okay.
A team checklist. So let's say you have your build sheet, but there's some stuff that's not on your build sheet. So it's nice to if you're packing up. Let's say you're traveling across the country to go to a big tournament. You can go and just look at a checklist. So when you're packing it up, just click off the checklist, and there you go.
Oh
And it does
wow.
include things like, hey, do I have my build sheet? Do I have my dice and tokens? Um, and then it also has these associated units, which are sometimes we call them like generated units, or things that that still is a part of your team, even if you don't have to explicitly add it to the team.
Just
So that's
additional
an
game
example.
elements. Yeah.
That's right. Yeah. So like your trick arrows card gives you all these different trick arrows options. The Green Lantern ring gives us the constructs that can be generated, and of course, I think King Deadpool and Elsa gave us the pizza. So yeah, so make sure that you remember everything when you're packing up your team and you're getting ready to go. So pretty handy.
Wow. That is really cool. I didn't know that existed either. So there are some new things that we looked at. I mean, things that I've never seen before, and I mean, there are a lot of different features on this, and there's stuff we haven't even talked about yet too. But I mean,
I'm sure there is.
that
Yeah.
might there's probably, if we wanted to go into all of the minutia of this website that you created, we probably would need another episode, right? Like,
That's probably the case. Like I said, I really the community has given me so many great suggestions, and it really has given me the opportunity to kind of like just add all of the cool stuff that I've wanted in a HeroClix website for so long. And so and I'm just going to keep adding features. And so if you have suggestions, please send them my way. Can't promise I'll get to everything, but I have taken a lot of feedback from the
yeah,
community.
I know from personal experience. I've messaged you personally many times, and you always are very kind in responding to, any feedback that I have. Like, oh, this would be a good idea for your site. This would be a good idea. This would be a good idea. So, for anybody watching or listening, Clay is very receptive to feedback, and he's always looking to improve his site for the community. So, thank you very much for that.
Of course, even little stuff. If you notice a typo, tell me if you find a typo. I want to make sure we have the best, most accurate unit data out there. So
So, yeah, I guess we could stop sharing and just I mean we hit everything, I think, for today. And Clay, thank you for coming on the show.
my
Um,
pleasure. Thanks for having me, Anthony. This is great.
yep, I hope this has been helpful for anybody that's a little bit apprehensive about using HCUnits, or they've never used it before, or they are just beginning HeroClix and they want to build teams. This is a great team builder, and it does a lot of other things too. Thank you for joining me, and for everybody watching or listening, don't forget, wake up and smell the clicks.
Bye, everyone.